The next presentation is manuscript ID number ICAAM 11, comparative analysis of similarity measures for generalized fuzzy numbers and its application to object recognition.
I am working as assistant professor in Human Resources Technology Management. My guide is Juncture, associate professor, Department of Mathematics, PhD College of Technology. This paper. So this paper is purely, it is an analysis paper, that is a comparative analysis of similarity measure for generalized fuzzy number, also its application under pattern recognition. So this is what my roadmap is. First I start with the definition of fuzzy set, and next is fuzzy numbers and also its mean, then similarity and its property, then types of pattern sets, then existing similarity measure, and fuzzy simple center of gravity similarity measure. This is actually a measure which is being defined by my guide, Dr. Shri. And this is what the fuzzy set definition, I think you all know about it. Fuzzy set A is defined as a set of all membership. Can you please go to the second? Yes, I'm afraid. Okay. So, set of all UA of X, for all X belongs to capital X, and the fuzzy set is totally characterized by a membership function. Next. So, this is a small example I had given for fuzzy set. So, and next. So, the concept of fuzzy set is nowadays mainly used under the decision making, medical diagnosis, as well as the pattern recognition. So, when you consider about the pattern recognition problem, if you want to represent any impression factor that can be, then we have to study about the similarity measures. So then what is the need of similarity measures we can see now. What is impression factor? So impression factor, actually if you want to do pattern recognition, if we consider, I think in many colleges you have that biometric. When you enter your college you have to put your hand. So what is the use for that? When you put your hand, it will be already, your fingerprint is being registered in your database, and every day you are pressing your hand, it will be compared to all database that has been already in your all finger biometric, that is all your impressions will already in your database. So each and every day your impression is being compared with all, and they had fixed some threshold value. So with that, if it is above 60% similar, then you are accepted to come inside. So this is what the thing is. Impression factor. Where comes the impression factor? In case in your finger you have any scar, or you have some problem in your fingers, then in such case that impression reading cannot be accurate. Okay. So there comes the problem is. Then it may be a possible that you have a 40% similar and 50% similar. So in case you may not be ready to get inside the hall. Next. Now here I am using the generalized fuzzy numbers. First I will explain what is fuzzy numbers. Okay, fuzzy number is a number which is to be convex and normal. It is to be defined under a real set R. What is convex and normal is, see here, actually all know about it. Fuzzy set takes a value only from 0 to 1. Close interval 0 and 1. And this is, see in all the patterns, it is monotonically increasing to one particular extent, that is like 1, you can fix it. Then after that, it will be monotonically decreasing. So there is no oscillation in that particular case. So this type of defining a numbers is a fuzzy number. So I'll just give it what is the need of fuzzy number here. So in pattern recognition and image analysis, it is essential to measure the geometric property of region in an image, but that are not crisply defined. Many of the standard geometric property and relationship among regions are generalized to fuzzy numbers. So the study of similarity of fuzzy number is very important in decision making. So this is what the definition, general definition of generalized fuzzy number. So here the diagram, just see the figure. Mu A denotes the continuous marking or to the closed interval 0, 1. So from 0 to A, the membership function is 0, and from A to B it is strictly increasing, and from B to C it will be constant, that is W. We can take that maximum W is equal to 1. That is what the level of confidence level. Okay. And next from C to D it will be strictly decreasing, then after that the membership value is 0. Okay. So this is the basic definition of similarity. Similarity being defined under two things, that is, you can say that is a commonality, finding commonality or finding the difference. And next, similarity is not very easy to measure, and it reflects the strength of relation between two objects. And also similarity measure between two fuzzy numbers A and B is to be denoted as S of A comma B, and it is normalized under the range 0 to 1. Next. So these are some property. If you want to define any similarity measure, that similarity measure should satisfy all these basic properties. The first property, similarity measure of A comma B is equal to 1 whenever A is equal to B. And next thing is, the similarity measure of A comma B should be equal to similarity measure of B comma A. And the third one is, if for the identical type of pattern sets A, B and C of same shape but different support. Of same shape but different support. What that support stands for is, this is what is support. Okay. So this A example, if you have your level of confidence is W over here, and if you have any changes in this B, then the support is different. This is what the base calculation, this is what the support. Okay. If for identical pattern is not only the shape but also the support, then in that case S of A comma B equal to S of B comma C. These are the basic properties. Next. And this is what the type of patterns is. So what I did it over here is, I just read the information. So the fingers impression, right? I did one application here. I'll explain at last. So I just read the generalized fuzzy numbers from the fingerprint image, okay, using the software, and from the numbers, generalized fuzzy numbers, I'm using some measures in that place so that I can able to identify both the patterns are similar or not. If it is similar, at what extent it is to be similar. If it is not, and also it will give at what extent it is not similar. Okay, so this is what the patterns I have used. The first thing is, this is the first pattern, the set having same base and same support. And second is different base and same support. And third one is same base and different support. And the fourth one is different base and different supports. This is an example for patterns. So these are my existing measures I consider. The first measure is defined by Chen. Next. The second measure is Heisig and Chen. Third is Shaijie Chen and Shaimeng Chen. Fourth one is Dengyan. Fifth one is Shaijie Chen. And this is what a measure my guide will be defined it. I just take down this, in what way it will be valid, and I have to check that if some measure is being given, we have to do some analysis at initial. This is what actually my first paper is. So I just take this measure, and in what extent this is good and what extent the other measure will not work at all. So what is the difference here I found it is, actually she taken everything from the Chen, that is the first measure what he defined this. That is actually he used with COG point, center of gravity point. And now only one difference he made is over here is, here this D. What is this D? D is a value which is lies between, that is X is a value which is lies between 0 and D. So the D is nothing but the degree of confidence level. If you are 100% confident, that is D is equal to 1, then the measure value will be, it should be 100% equal. If your degree of confidence level is no, I will accept 60% I will accept it. Fix then according to that level you will have the measure value. Okay, so if D value is changing, but Chen had used the value as 4 in that case, so the value is being fixed. Okay, actually he had taken the average in that case. Next. So these are all the basic property. So this is already proved thing. Next. So this is what the comparative analysis is. Just figure 1. Press this figure. Move your mouse in. So in figure 1, we have taken 26 pattern sets. I want to display this. What the 26 pattern sets. This is actually the authors had taken the previous existing measure. What authors had taken, the same thing I had taken over here to prove our result is valid. The first case I have discussed is for identical type of pattern sets. So for identical type of pattern sets, see here, the two pattern sets are identical. How you are saying that it is identical? when you find the difference of bases C. Okay, so the two pattern sets are identical, supports are equal. In such case, the values, the similarity value should be equal. And just see, orthogonality is nothing but Dengyong. Dengyong having a drawback that they are giving the value in a different way. And also, the first Euclidean distance is a measure defined by Chen, and greater mean is defined by Keswick. But those values we cannot be acceptable by seeing this. So 80%, 83% we cannot able to say by visually these two pattern sets are similar. At 80% level, 83% level. Next. In similar way, I consider three more pattern sets, 23, 24 and 25. Next. And here the pattern sets with same COG point, that is center of gravity. In that measure, right, you have 1 minus mod XA star, that is what a measure, center of gravity measure, which is the chain had defined it. If the patterns have the same COG, then definitely the measure values are same. That is what is. Next. Same shape but different support. Same shape, only the difference of, I think, I think this is different. Next. So these are the general discussions. The first, Chen and Heisig, both the measure concentrates only on the distance between the fuzzy number. They do not take into account any other aspect required for a similarity measure. And Saijing Chen gives similarity value for all fuzzy number with same COG point. And Dengyong differs similarity value for fuzzy number with same COG, and it does also fails to identify identical type of patterns. And this is an application. I just take a simple application. This is a picture which I taken from the MATLAB. Actually, visibly, if you see, object 7 is exactly round. It is a circle. But object 1, 5, 2, 4, everything, we cannot say it is round, but at some extent we can say it is round. And object 3 and 6, we cannot able to say at all it is a round. So when this is what the similarity measure, actually this is taken from the MATLAB, and we had taken, this is actually an image, right? So from each and every image we have calculated the generalized fuzzy numbers. So we are applying a measure. Next. How it is being calculated? The image is being represented as a Gaussian membership function. We have an option in our MATLAB. So this Gaussian membership function, which is to be converted as a trapezoidal function by having some alpha cuts. So after converting it, we are reading the generalized fuzzy number A, B, C and D. So with that fuzzy number, this is what the actual value of mu, which is being found from your MATLAB. Next. So table 2. This is what the ranking, I just put the ranking over here. 7 is exactly wrong. After that, 4, after 2, after 5, last 6. That is, the dissimilarity is more in your 6. Next. So the conclusion is, several novel measures are discussed over here. And FSTG measure correlates better than the other measure. And the examples are discussed, and approach is effective and practical. And the next is, however, there was no serious attempt to validate the technique through behavioral experiments. So what is the, at my extent I am saying my measure is good, and what my guide has done, and comparative analysis, everything I have done, everything is good, but there is no validation up to this level. So I am trying to validate the thing that there is a measure that is only true when you consider for all the cases. So starting from the existing measures, all measure they had given that some extent it is true, in this case it is to be valid, and this case we can do it. Only they has been discussed among some examples of pattern sets as well as some applications. But there is no validation up to this level. This is what the thing is. There is no validation. Okay. So my aim is, my future plan is, I want to validate the thing by giving a strong mathematical proof. Okay. Next. These are all my references. Thank you.
Please open the audience.
Apart from Gaussian, actually we can convert it to trapezoidal. Apart from Gaussian and trapezoidal, is there any other shapes which represent generalized fuzzy numbers?
3 ways we can define it: Gaussian, trapezoidal and triangular.
Triangular single peak point.
weak point.
அது வந்து ரெண்டு கிளப் ஆகுது ரேஞ்ச் டாப்ல ரெண்டு கிளப் ஆயிருக்கும்.
Club ஆயிட்டா the A, B, C, D are representing now that B, C level are equal.
So
It is equal.
The triangular shape is you can consider it for generalized.
Yes. If it is triangular, you will have A, B, C value. The B can be considered twice. Standard. Yes, COG.
With respect to COG.
With respect to COG.
But Euclidean la இந்த COG னு சொல்லவே இல்ல.
இல்ல.
அந்த மெஷர் வந்து மெட்ரிக் வெரிஃபை பண்ணீங்களா?
மெட்ரிக்
ரிகார்டிங் மெட்ரிக். ஒரு மெஷர் கொடுக்கறோம்னா அது மெட்ரிக் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும் இல்லையா?
நீங்க மெட்ரிக்
ஒரு மெஷர் நீங்க டிஃபைன் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. அந்த மெஷர் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் மெட்ரைசபிளா அப்படினு சொல்லணும்.
ஓகே.
மெட்ரைசபிளா
நான் actually similarityயோட basic properties ஐ prove
அதாவது வேற ஒரு டைமென்ஷன்ல நீங்க வெரிஃபை பண்ணீங்க.
Yes sir.
மெட்ரைசபிளான்றது
மெட்ரைசபிள்.
பேட்டர்ன் செட்ஸ் நிறைய எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் டயகிராமா கொடுத்தீங்க. ஜெனரலைஸ்டா உங்களோட ஃபிகர் தனியா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்தீங்க.
Actually அது generalized ma'am 26 pattern default pattern set generalized. அது எந்த it's a standard. We can get it from Google. And அது எந்த இமேஜ் ஓடது I searched it but I couldn't find it. It's a generalized pattern in all possible cases it is made.
அவ்வளவுதான் இருக்கு அதுக்கு மேல இல்ல.
26 தான் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணது. That is in a 26ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா all possible cases you will have.
அந்த மெட்ரைசபிள்ங்கற ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி செக் பண்ணணுமா வேண்டாமா? Instead of checking metricable property, it is enough to validate the properties of similarity measure அப்படி நீங்க சொல்லி ஒரு இடத்துல இத சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா இன்னும் வேலிடா இருக்கும்.
Okay. Thank you.
Whether your problem is a time bound one, time bound. For example, we are going to compare the pattern. I need to have it in a very short period of time. Your equations may be some lengthy or complicated one. So whether the time bound is there in your form.
Actually, I didn't check with the time bound. I tried to validate the thing now. So time bound, if we apply directly to a practical thing, we can able to fix it.
Everything should be practical, no? You go for applying.
Yes.
Like theory, you can't able to.
Definitely. That is what we validate. It's just a simple example we took it from patterns.
But your problem, you go for a fingerprint, which is a time bound is there.
That is actually my next step. Yes.
In your approach to analysis, what observation you are noticing?
So the one thing is, the first thing for identical type of pattern sets, the similarity value should be same. And next thing is, the patterns with same COG point, then also the similarity value should be same. And also I have checked with visual. So I just given in that case. So and also the general